Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just finished watching episode 12 of Young Justice Phantoms. Now, throughout the entire season of Young Justice Phantoms, it's actually been kind of a mixed bag when it comes to both its animation and its storytelling. Most of the stories that it's telling have been really well done, and I do think it could lead the series in interesting directions. So far it has, and it has focused more on some of the major characters of the series, more so than Season 3. However, the animation for several of the flashback sequences has been frustratingly limited, but the animation throughout the rest of the show has been straight up solid. On top of that, this episode happens to show us what happens after Tikal has been killed and after Klarion has been reduced to his Chaos Lord form as basically a giant diamond. So, Child goes throughout the world, destroying pretty much everything around her, spreading chaos wherever she goes. And Dr. Fate and the Sentinels, led by led by Zatanna, led by Zatanna, have to, you know, they have to, do what they can to stop her. All while we find out how Zatara ended up joining the Justice League in this universe, and as we see that Garfield is still taking the death of Superboy, or the supposed death, I should say, pretty hard, as it's even affecting his job as an actor. So yeah, I do like the fact that they've pretty much been going over Beast Boy's depression in a pretty realistic way, to the point where he went from being way too enthusiastic for his outsider missions to having no enthusiasm at all. I really hope that in the second half of the season it ultimately changes for the better when it turns out, he finds a way to get out of this depression, but man, it is just hard to watch him at this point. But that's not a bad thing. That means the depression he's going through is actually written pretty well. On top of that, Child's destruction just makes her actually more threatening as a Chaos Lord than Klarion ever was, in my opinion. Especially because she has this childish innocence to her while also being so freakishly strong that Dr. Fate, Zatanna, and her students have absolutely no way of taking her on. And that's not even going through her familiar flaw. Yeah, she really happens to make herself known, and her little "you can't kill me" at the end really lets you know that she's being rather playful with her villainy as well as just being straight up threatening. Plus, I liked Clarion's little bit where he goes throughout the various histories of the world in a bus, which explains the after credit scene last week, where, yeah, he goes around trying to look for heroes who can help him while in a bus, and he, of course, thinks it's a bike at first, which, yeah, considering he's a Chaos Lord with a lot of chaotic ideas to his personality, it was a pretty fun way to go about it. But yeah, considering that next week is going to apparently be the last episode of the series of the season for a mid-season finale, until the next part of it happens in 2022. I hope Studio Mir uses that extra time to fix up the animation, and I hope they can use that extra time to have these stories all converge at the end to make it feel like all these individual stories were building up to something. But for now, it's a decent episode and what's been a pretty mixed season overall. See you next time.